Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I've got my first decent paying job for the skid steer, and this is the type of work I want to be doing all the time. So it requires the skid steer with the power rake, which is what's loaded up now. It will also require the bucket for the skid steer and the dump trailer. So I'm going to go drop this off, come back for the dump trailer, and then we'll walk around. I'll show you what the job is, and throughout the day I'm going to tell you what I'm getting paid and kind of what my plan is moving forward. Should be a fun day. Okay, so my morning has not went according to plan at all. First, I got the skid loader here and unloaded, and it's sitting by this house that I'm working at. Then I found out I needed to haul a car, and I needed to do it today. So I lost about an hour and a half to moving this car. So now I'm back out here, and I find something I wasn't expecting. So what I'm here for is to clean up a big pile of mulch here. Looks almost like they ran whole trees through a mulcher, and the customer's property line goes another 50 feet that way, but something has driven through here and completely dug this out right here. This wasn't like this when I came to bid it, and there's a big area pushed in there. It looks almost like they took a dozer and just cleared part of this customer's yard. I mean, I guess where we're at is a ditch, as there's going to be a road that runs back here. But there's a concrete pumper truck that's pouring a foundation right now, and cement trucks are coming back and forth down this road, and I haven't really been able to find a good place to park the trailer because there's a ditch here. I can't really drive off. Let me move it and show you. So there's the house I'm working at. The road over here is blocked. I can't really back off right here into the yard to load this debris, and I don't want to pull out into the yard and get stuck, so I'm right along the road. I'm not in the road. Should be able to still work on it, but the scope of the job is to haul off all of this mulch and then level the yard back out when I'm done. And that's why I brought the power rake. But with the way this day's went, I don't think I'm gonna finish it today, which is disappointing. But we'll do what we can and make the best of it. So, first thing I gotta do is take the power rake off, get the bucket put on, and just start filling the dump trailer. I'm guessing a minimum of 5 loads out of here. It might be 10 or more. I don't know how to estimate that just looking at it. So we'll find out. Bidding these jobs is a challenge for me, so as you watch this and see the scope of work, and keep in mind that I have to level out this entire lot, what would you charge for a job like this? That is about 10 minutes from my house. I already showed you the first surprise of the day, and right here is the second surprise. Watch the whole pile move way away from the skid steer. There are long logs buried under this mess. And I thought I was only here to pick up loose mulch and debris. And the fact that they really cut into this with some type of machine made my job a lot harder too, because now I have to clean up the mess from what they did since I was here last. I made quite a few trips today hauling off all this material, and each time I came back to fill the trailer, I tried to film that in a little bit different way to keep it more interesting. So, I've already mentioned a couple things I didn't anticipate. One is that by them disturbing all that, it showed me that the mulch is deeper than I thought. Then they mixed a bunch of dirt into the mulch, which means anything that's mixed in now has to be hauled off. Also, what I didn't know was underneath the mulch, we have long branches that don't fit in my bucket and are harder to pick up. But I think what experience teaches is to expect things that you didn't see when you looked at it, and expect this will take longer than it looks. But each load won't take that long. It takes me about 20 minutes to drive and drop this off, maybe 30 minutes, including dumping it. And it's a matter of how many loads this is going to take that tells how long this job takes. In a lot of situations, I might have to pay to dispose of all this material, but I actually had a few different options for how to dispose of it for free. And one plan was initially just to dump it and let it decompose on the back of the property, and by flipping it occasionally, I would eventually end up with compost. But I actually think I have a plan to use this in a way that's actually productive. "90% of the time I'm hauling rock in my dump trailer, and basically, I can never fill it because I hit my weight capacity when the dump bed is only about half full. In this case, hauling less dense material, I was able to really pack it full and still not be at my weight limit. And in this case, that meant about 7 scoops with the skid steer bucket. Right now you're watching me pick up the 3rd load of the day, and by this point I've come to realize that I'm really gonna benefit from having the grapple here, but that'll probably have to come back with me tomorrow. The reason I need the grapple is to pick all this larger material out of the mulch. I get a lot of it, but the fact it's not laid in there straight makes it awkward to pick up with the bucket. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of bulldozing all of that type of material towards the middle, and I scoop up all of the looser stuff that maybe doesn't have the big pieces in it. One problem here, as I take this mulch off, there's a lot of big tree limbs pushed down into the dirt that I'm snagging and pushing along, and I don't want to leave them at ground level, but digging them out makes a bigger mess. So that's the progress One load from here, one load from over there. This looks like the deepest section of mulch. Take a guess right now in the comments how many loads of material we're gonna take out from this whole area. And then I still have a decision to make up here. I may talk to the homeowner about this. So we have construction, we're on a construction site right over there. And I believe that in the last week, they decided that this needed a ditch. And they made one and pushed all this material up here. This material wasn't here, we didn't talk about it. I don't want to completely build a properly shaped ditch here, but I also probably can't leave that, so that's another factor. When I mentioned earlier that I had a use for all this mulch, it is going to be the bedding for my firewood processing area and my log staging area. So in the couple of years that we've been on this property, I've always had a pile of firewood that I was working on in my free time. And what happens when you just pile up firewood rounds is grass grows up through them and it becomes a maintenance issue, needing to weed eat through it or move the pile of rounds so that you can mow, and just kind of a hassle. So I don't really want to put all my firewood and process my firewood on a rock area, because then you're trying to clean the bark out of the rock. So instead, I would rather have it covered in mulch. So basically, I'm going to spread this back out the way I found it. And then anytime I need to chip up some limbs, I can chip them right onto the pile with the bark from whatever I'm working on. everything's going pretty smoothly except for time. And that's really conscious choices that I've made that are limiting my time today, because it's an hour per load. I was estimating between 5 and 10 loads. I think we're still gonna fall under 10, but I've taken 4 loads right now. I spent almost 2 hours this morning hauling a car to a mechanic for somebody, and then I'm going to my son's baseball game, which means I have to be done by about 4:30 p.m. So I've made 4 trips so far. I was just going to come back and get the skid loader and take it home and only get 4 trips today. Then I realized, why not just leave the machine there? And that would let me get a 5th load today. So I don't know how many of you guys leave your machine at someone's house, but I think it's fairly common to leave a machine at a job site. You'll see machines setting around job sites all the time. And so that's what I'm gonna do, because it lets me get 1 more load done today to make sure I can finish this tomorrow. Because I'm not just hauling all this material out, I also have to finish grade the entire area when I'm done. So this will be the last load for the day. Well, I'd say I made a huge dent in this, but there's still a lot of work to do. And my biggest concern for finishing it tomorrow is this is pretty wet. And you can only do so much to grade mud. And I'm gonna do the best I can with it. And I am optimistic this will be done and I'll have a satisfied customer tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'm going to put links over here to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.